Good evening. My running head is a tribute speech. A tribute speech by yours truly, Marika Franklin, Ashford University. The title is Dr. Martin Luther King Tribute Speech. Specific purpose is to commemorate the life of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Audience, Martin Luther King Jr. Day audience, type of speech, tribute speech. My introduction. There have been very many great people in this world who have come and gone. We can begin to name them, but it will take us all day long to be able to do so. One of these great people that have been in this world is the great Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Luther is one of the best people in the world had ever seen and granted. This speech is a tribute to the great work and deeds that Luther did throughout his life. I have been able to research some of the great things that Martin was able to do, and I have to say that there is no kind or amount of gratitude that can match his actions. Martin was able to help fight for equalism and end racial segregation, help to encourage slaves to fight for their freedom, and also to ensure the world becomes a better place for all. These actions will forever remain in our hearts. Martin Luther was one of the greatest fighters to end the racial segregation that exists in the United States of America and all over the world. In his fight, he was able to do this through great campaigning throughout the United States of America. He moved tireless using blacks to take action and fight to end the segregation. This comes from Miller 2015. This is where African Americans were treated unfairly by whites. However, he moved around despite facing all the hurdles such as arrest, violence, cases, and even brutality from the police. All these were able to go through and never give up on the fight for racial segregation. Martin Luther was able to help fight against slavery. During this time, slavery was at high level and many black people used that slavery. Martin Luther led the already free black people into a fight for freedom. He made sure that the blacks people had informed and they had to encourage to face the problem of slavery. Wilkerson 1994. This was through being able to preach to them and give them encouragement. Martin Luther, through this effort, ensured that all Americans had knowledge on what they could do. He also used speech to help encourage people to make better decisions and to move forward in fighting for racism. A speech such as I Have a Dream speech was one of the help to ensure that everyone in the county understood the importance of equal liberties and central rights. This was one of the greatest speeches that had ever been made. Martin Luther, throughout his life, tried to make the world a better place where everyone would be comfortable and would be able to live without any worries. For example, he helped to fight for slavery, to make sure that the life of African Americans had improved greatly. Martin Luther helped to ensure that all children could go to school. African American children, at the time, they did not have a chance to go to school. However, he fought to ensure that the children was able to go to school. This comes from Miller 2015. This meant that the life of African American children was better and they was able to gain the knowledge that other children were getting. Martin Luther was also a preacher who ensured that everyone in the county got the gospel. Christians helped the people to get along and even had a better life and unity. In peace, he ensured that blacks had a life without there being violent method involved. Conclusion: Martin Luther is one of the greatest people in the history of this county. He was able to ensure a lot through his good deeds, great speeches that he made, sacrifices that he made for the sake of all black people. There is no amount of gratitude that is enough to say how much he did for the county. Reference: Miller W.J. 2015. I Have a Dream, Origins of the Dream. Wilkerson A. 1994. King's I Have a Dream speech, a case of a conclusion, origin, and criticism. Thank you, and you have a good night.